hit the F5 if you haven't. If your Twitch client likes you today, you probably won't need to hit that F5, and we probably just pop back on. But you know how it is. It is how it is because this top clack. We rollin' in mad clacks.
Das ist top crack.
Dossel Clack.
All right.
Hopefully
we're all
would be
good.
a great beer.
Brian is even more baller. What? Baller than what?
Everything. Hey, Megaforce.
That's true.
Thanks for loving Amelia and Top Clack for 8 months in a row.
Thanks for loving Amelia so much that you subbed to us for 8 months in a row. That's like the maximum amount, I think. I think eight's the longest.
Holy crap! That means we have to start preparing for the 1 year again with like a million different crazy contests that we get to hear people sing and write poetry. And
no,
stuff again.
we gotta find a more streamlined way to do what we did last time because we did too much last time and it took us way too long to figure all that shit out.
Intense. Captain Shaw, thanks to you as well. 8 months in a row. Woo.
But yeah, he was an OG as well.
Yeah. You know what I haven't added to this, which we'll add which I guess I'll add right after we do the intro and then small talk. But real quick, everyone, thanks for joining us for Top Clock. Blue Knot 3, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime. I'm going to hit that intro, and then we're going to talk a little bit about stuff and things, because that's what we do on Top Clock. Intro!
Still getting frame drops on the Zeal GIF, by the way.
Okay, yeah, I figured so. Hey, everyone, I'm just going to disable the GIF because that GIF is giving us issues because, you know, only Huey makes a 4K GIF, whatever. No, it's 1080p.
What's funny is the sponsor GIF works totally fine until the Zeal's picture starts, and then we just drop frames. And then it comes back. And then when the Zeal GIF comes around again, we drop the frames again.
Too many bits in that picture, that's probably why.
Yeah, so we're going to work on that and hopefully get a fixed version. We thought lowering the overall frame rate this time would help, but clearly it did not. So we will fix the sponsor gift for next time. All of our sponsors still there, as you probably know, so don't worry too much about that.
Okay, well, don't worry. One thing I'm adding right now, I'm adding the jar. I'm adding the jar.
Oh, the bit jar?
The bit jar. People love the bit jar.
People went nuts with the bit jar last time. Anyways, Blue Note, thank you so much for the sub via Twitch Prime. Thank you for enjoying our content. Is the bit jar okay? Bit jar is up. All right.
Yeah. Thank you, my dudes, for the bits. So, Brian, how's your week been?
Thank you, Brian on 1905 for all the bits. My week has been pretty good. Had a really good mail day today.
Really? So, I want to hear about
that
mail. I think people can see in the corner of your screen what that little teaser of your mail day is. But let's take it one inch at a time.
Yeah, so this is our stupid news segment we're gonna call Mail Call, where we talk, because we do this every week anyways, right? You might as well give it a name. We talk about stuff that we got throughout the week. So I got a couple things. For starters, I got key sets. I got a little Solarized Dark action going on here with actually I don't think I got any extras. It's just all the normal keys that comes with base set there, as well as GMK Muted, which I'm pretty excited to use. I had to sell my 9009 to be able to afford this, but you know, hey, I was ready for a change in scenery anyways. I have a bunch of OG cherry caps that are 9009 colored anyway, basically, so it's like, whatever. I also got the cyan accents with the muted, so it should look pretty nice. But what's potentially even more exciting for people that actually care is I got a package from Rama.
Yeah.
And you know, if you maybe haven't been paying attention, this is a very special edition Top Clack Blue Special Edition Rama M6, which is freaking awesome. This is actually for giveaway purposes, so this will go to one of you lucky folks out there, hopefully. We're not entirely sure how we're doing it yet, but expect that to happen pretty darn soon. The color, I haven't even seen the color in person yet. I've only seen pictures of it, but it's pretty awesome, and it's like a 1 in 2 or 1 in 3 color, so it's gonna be stupidly rare. It's gonna look good. Ooh. It's gonna be pretty awesome. Ooh. So yeah, look forward to that. That's what I got this week.
You know what's awesome? Very awesome, Brian?
What is very awesome here?
Protection. And I got some protection today in the mail. I got the
Nice.
Thank you. A lot of people know from the cop boards, they have these spill guards that go on top of your Cherry MX keycaps. I was sent these to do some experimenting with. Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. Are you muted, Brian?
Yeah, I was for a second. Sorry, I'm just repeating something I saw in chat. Texas Breakfast says GMK Trojan. Pretty good.
So I got these, which will be pretty exciting. I think I'm going to want to use it first in the board I built the other week. If you guys didn't catch that VOD, I built up the pink with MX retooled blocks, and I have the typing sounds up on the channel, YouTube channel. Yeah, breaking these in. A lot of people might be wondering where that Box Royal review is, which is coming soon. I also have that board right at my desk. And the reason I switched off from the Box Royal keyboard is I'm basically done writing that review, so I can actually start typing on other boards. Thank goodness. Just because I get bored of typing on a single switch for too long.
Yeah, not to say Box Royals are bad. It's just I'm the same way. Like even like Holy Pandas or my favorite linears, whatever. Like I give it like a week, then I'm like I gotta switch to something else. Then I'll come back to it later, and it'll be great.
Yeah.
But I need that variety, man.
I just gotta say, this is like one of the best stickers I've ever received on an envelope. Ooh, man, the Colonel is gonna get us banned from Twitch.
There's no way the Colonel can make chicken like that and still look like that. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
Zim 1993, GMK KA 2017 are the keycaps, which is a pretty rare set actually, but it's the best pink set in the world.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, now that mail call is out of the way, we can move on.
I think we should think of a better name than mail call. Like
it's got to be
keyboard related, because like mail call is like what like my old roommate used to call as services for things I'd leave the room for. But enough of that, let's do the news.
The show was built on being cheesy. It's got to stay that way, man.
I need the tip jar here too. But while I get the tip jar, maybe it'd be good to talk about a buy that probably needed a few more tips when they started. And that would be the announcement today, or not today, but on the 23rd, 3 days ago, that Hub is canceled.
Yeah, so clearly he wasn't going to meet his $500,000 Kickstarter goal.
$500,000.
$500,000. He was at, I think he was around 150,000 when he is calling it quits this time. Canceled it. The term postponed is also being thrown around, so he's very committed to this. He wants the Hub profile to come to life and work out, but he sees that at this moment it's not the time. So hopefully in the future, he'll be able to handle that, because it is a cool project, like it really is. But the community maybe just doesn't have quite that much money to throw around right now, regardless of whether his costs are low or high. $500,000 is still kind of a tall order for a very niche community like ours. So, we wish him the best, and hopefully he gets that going again at the right time and, makes it work. So when he canceled it, he was at $133,000. Sorry, I was a little bit off on that. At 740 backers. So pretty interesting stuff.
At Top Clack, we always want to be, very educational. We like putting out content that helps inform people, and I want to take this opportunity to think, to Evan, I really do hope, in the future you can improve this. And, Brian, what do you think maybe Evan should consider a bit more the next time he wants to give Hub another go?
Well, I think just having that, supremely open and friendly communication. Because I think that was one of the primary complaints when he started this, is people wanted to know a breakdown of what all the money was being used for and stuff like that. And I think he eventually did do that, but it took him a while, and it seemed like he was maybe dodging some of the questions, but I don't think he has any anything like, negative in mind here. Like he's not trying to be like a bad guy or anything. That's just kind of the way it worked out. But other than that, like I don't think he necessarily did anything wrong. I think the community just isn't large enough and funded enough to support a project like this. Because I mean, yes, our community is growing bigger, but like we're still very much niche, and the people that are going to support this project are A, people that can afford it, B, people that want to try this new profile, maybe C, people that want to have the colorways that are available, whatever. So you're limiting. It's not like everyone in the community is backing this project. Obviously,
right.
You have to be interested enough to try it. So, there's just not enough interested people, I guess. And there's not really a whole lot he can do about that at the moment.
I think there was much more he could have done. I think he should have definitely taken a more casual approach in marketing the set, and I don't mean like in his marketing material itself, but who he approached. I think it would have been great, for example, if he approached mechanicalkeyboards.com, be like, hey, do you guys want to, help fund a fifth of this for a ton of really, really cheap sets to stock on your store that you guys would sell pretty well? Hit up KBD fans. Even try hitting up, some of the other OEMs, like, hey, Corsair, do you want to try to do like a special edition board with hubcaps? I think that's really, really far off and not likely. But maybe even with like Ducky, Vermillo, sources like that, where it's like, hey, influences like that can definitely help push it closer to that 500,000.
Yeah, no, that's actually really that's a really good point. Having people actually invest in this, like larger entities, because the Van keyboards has been around for a while now. Evan's relatively well known in the community. People mostly know who he is, but he still doesn't have that super established, like experienced presence. Like he hasn't been around for, doing this for 5, 6, 7 years. He doesn't have a site like mechanicalkeyboards.com or, the reach that Ducky or Varmillo might have, etc. So yeah, if he could find one or even multiple investors, more or less, that could definitely be the way to go, because he tried to take it on all himself this time, and he just might not quite have the reputation for it. I don't mean like a bad reputation. I mean like he might not have as much notoriety.
So one definite thing I'd also add about that is, like you said, he did try to take all of it on his own, which was rough. And one of the rough things that he got a lot of backlash for was, not teaming up with key set designers, who a lot of them would have been, willing to help him out to make colors that would help push the set. I definitely understand why he personally probably wanted to go the colors on his own, but I think, using established makers to create new kinds of different colorways, or even simple ones that we asked for, like white on black, to help draw people in, would have been great. Because, like you said, he's not super well known, but a lot of these big key set designers are, and if he really teamed up with them, they could have definitely helped throw their weight around to make it a reality. Which I think would have been a pretty cool collab if he suddenly got all these big designers on board. That would have been really cool.
Yeah. I usually don't like to answer questions or bring up questions during this portion, but Zoology has actually a really good question. He says, don't get why so expensive to set up hub when MDA/Mix profile was developed and produced with no huge fanfare. That's a fairly good point. I don't know.
Valid. One day KVD fans is like, hey, look, we got these new keycaps and this new profile, and everyone's like, nani?
Yeah, and that's totally valid too. I wish I had a good answer for that, because I don't know. But yeah, maybe KBD fans or whoever else was supporting the project just happened to have 500 grand or so laying around, or whatever they.
However much less it might have been, because made in China instead of US, but still they had the means to make it happen, and did.
Yep. Zgreb, thank you very much for the sub, and Amnesia, thank you for the bits.
Thank you, guys. But like I said, Evan, if you do end up watching us at some point, whether it's now or the VOD, I do wish you the best on this project and future projects to come. Best of luck.
For sure.
Okay. Let's move on to an interest check that I am quite a fan of, because it's something something truly OG, which is an intersect for GMK OGTA, which is the OG colors for Triumph Adler. A lot of you guys know Triumph Adler is a set that ran, oh my goodness, 3 years ago now? 2 years ago. 3.
No.
It ran in the past on Massdrop.
It was like 2014 or 2015.
Oh my god.
Probably 2015.
But it ran on Massdrop, and you know, there were a lot of complaints on how it turned out. It was one of the first times that GMK worked on with a custom color, and they didn't necessarily get it right. But it still sold a very, very, very large amount. And now someone wants to bring it back, but with the actual original OG colors. So in this picture, you can see the GMK TA on top, that lighter one, and then there's the new one with these grayer alphas. And as you can see, the mod color is also slightly different. They're actually a little bit lighter, at least by this picture. Oof.
Yeah, I really wish we could get these particular, like, are they double shot, triple shot, quadruple shot caps?
They're all.
No, sorry, they're all just the same. Okay, my bad, I saw that wrong. But like the caps that have multiple legends, I forgot what that's called.
Pad printing?
No.
Double?
No, what are these legends called?
European legends?
Never mind. What are they called in the BSP buy? Like the ones that have the legends over here by the center key.
Those aren't two legends.
Picture?
If that's what you're wondering.
Okay, that was what I'm wondering. Because I think those are kind of cool.
They are, but they are just
cool.
They're just sub legends in general.
Yeah. Anyways,
but so issue I do have is that like they're basically running with like the original compatibility and look of how it ran on Massdrop, which is like 1U blanks for the one keyless bottom row, which I don't particularly like. I mean,
almost archaic at this point.
But I understand why, because like, you know, the original OG TA was proper win keyless. Like those keys didn't really exist. I wish they have a code or super key you could put there for those who do have win keyless. Otherwise, I'm actually okay with compatibility as is. I'm happy they have for the win keyless row 5, because row 5 GMK is great, especially on win keyless boards. No, I'm liking it. Depending on the price, this is definitely like an almost must buy for me.
Yeah. And since there's also, what is this row 0 kit? That's kind of interesting.
Row 0, it's like with my GMK Iris kit. The really tall top row.
Yeah, that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really interested in price here. There's no note on price here, so obviously we won't know yet. But since the set is not necessarily lacking compatibility, but there are definitely less keys as well, it'd be nice to see this hit a lower price point than a lot of GMK sets have been lately. I know because of the currency exchange rate at the moment. You know, we've been having to pay a little bit more for GMK sets lately.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be cool to get something on the cheaper set.
Yeah, and we definitely feel it when we move on to our next topic, which is the current group buy running on DixieMech.com for GMK Violet Tendencies that just started this week with that base kit price of $160. Current numbers as of 2 days ago, they hit 1/3 the way there. I saw Garrett of Dixie Mech do the post letting us know they hit 1/3 away of MOQ, which is great already.
They have a counter on the website, on the page itself for Violet Tendencies. Sold at least 49 out of 150 MOQ for the base kit, and then 32 out of the MOQ 100 of the spacebar kit. There's no note if the price will go down if they hit, let's say, a 250 MOQ. But it would be cool if that were true.
You know, it'd be cool. I think if you're a keyset designer or aspiring keyset designer, I hope this influences you. To save everyone costs, You should put the ISO keys with the spacebar kit. But in chat, people are saying there's a $10 price drop for 250 MOQ.
Oh, cool. Is that listed somewhere on here? I don't see it. Maybe I mean, usually I'm blind, but this is. This page isn't exactly very long.
There's also matching desk mats you can get. Do you think desk mats are gonna be like the new thing vendors do? Because remember 2 years ago, everyone was like about that custom cable game. Is desk mats the new that new frontier?
Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, that is becoming like such a thing nowadays.
Oh, you gotta get this custom cable to match your set. Now it's like you gotta get this desk mat to match your set because, yeah, it's less work than making a ton of custom cables for most vendors.
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cool though. It's a fun addition.
Ooh, so GMK Violet Tendencies. What do you think? Is this on your list? Are you considering this in some way?
No. I mean, I've never really. I don't dislike purple. I know purple is definitely one of the most popular colors in the community because everyone goes nuts for it. But to me, it's just hydro but purple, which is fine. I don't have that need and desire for purple. I think it's a nice set, but it's not something I feel I need. I owned hydro for a very long time, and to me, this is close enough to hydro to where I've basically experienced this set already. Just me. What about you? Are you picking this up?
If I didn't have hydro, I would get this set because it fills that same space for me. Because like for me, it is like basically a purple hydro, but they're both dark on the legends. So like if it was light on the legends, I'd be much more considering because for me it wouldn't feel as much of that same sphere as this does with hydro for me. So like if I sell hydro, I'd get this. If I hold on to my hydro, I'm not going to get this. That's how I feel about it right now.
That's pretty fair. Yeah. It is a nice set, and there have been a lot of people really, really hyped and waiting for this.
Otherwise, it is quite beautiful. Quite beautiful.
Yeah.
Speaking of beautiful, a lot of people think bezels are beautiful. But is there a limit? As with the Exent, we learned, yes, there is a limit. This is another board that is wondering if they can push the edge on bezel, which is the interest check for the S7 Elephant, a 70% custom keyboard.
This keyboard's nuts, man.
It's like a mini beam spring.
Yeah, actually it does look kind of like that. I like the pictures that just have fruit with them. This is cute. Yeah, well, I think one of the things I think the Exent suffered from was it was like there was very little design when you looked at it from the top or like even the side. So like it felt large. It felt unnecessarily large just for the sake of being large. Whereas here, I feel like there's a little bit more design to play off of.
I mean, but is it like, look at how small it is compared to an apple, Brian?
Shut up.
Sorry. It's so small compared to the banana.
Those are monstrous bananas, yeah. That's a funny point, actually. I don't know. I mean, if I had to choose between this and the Exent, I'd probably pick this.
I would pick this over the Exent.
Yeah. This also does something I like a lot, where it looks like the bottom makes complete contact with your desk, so it's like it's not on feet.
Mm-hmm.
Like the bottom is like in theory just flat, which I like. I think you get a much better sound out of your keyboards that way.
Yeah, so here's some of the specs they got for us, okay, guys? The top right corner will have a name tag, probably customizable for yourself. The cambered surface makes this keyboard more unique. Besides, 5 macros have RGB curved. There was no bottom like CA66 design, cause it will make case more higher. 5.8 degree, that's very specific.
No. It's 8 degrees. That's just the fifth bullet point.
Okay, 8 degree.
You just forgot a space.
Yeah. Pricing 280 to 300 USD in light green, rose gold, or Mao. Really interesting with those color options because there's no common, black or silver or gray or red or blue. And it's just light green, rose gold, Mao. PCB is GMK or bootmapper.
Weight says we'll add 2 more colors.
Need people decided.
People will decide. Yeah.
So probably gray and black.
Yep. He's satisfying both the noobs and the experts with his PCB compatibility. QMK or bootmapper client. Very nice. Brass weight. Very nice. The plate and name tag will be optional brass or aluminum. Nice.
How do you feel about this overall?
I want to know if that price includes a PCB for starters.
Probably.
I hope so, because obviously that layout is a little unique. I think if you can get it at that like 280-ish price with the PCB, that's not bad. I think the price is okay. I think the board is fine. I'm not in love with it, but I don't think it's totally overkill like the Exempt felt like to me.
I feel like this board is a bad compromise, or someone who felt bad they missed out on a CA66, and then they see this and they think this can replace their desire for the CA66 in their hearts, but it won't. That's what I feel when I see this board. Like, it's for someone who is so desperate but missed out for a CA66. That's what I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it does have a little similar of the feel. I can see that. All right.
I'll keep my eye on it because it's going to be very interesting. Alternatively, what is also very interesting... Oh!
That was the next level.
Thank you. Is this Massdrop ALT keyboard starting tomorrow?
Yeah, so if you guys remember the Control keyboard that Massdrop ran, this is kind of like a smaller version of that in 65% form factor, as opposed to the TKL of the Control. It changed the name. This is now the ALT for this form factor. And I mean, it looks fine. I thought the Control looked fine. I think this looks fine. It's like it's going to launch tomorrow, 6 a.m. Pacific time, for $180. Then you'll have your choice between Cherry MX Brown RGB switches, Halo switches, Halo Trues, Clears, or a few of the Kaiwa varieties. So, or you can get it without switches and caps for $40 off, which is cool. I like kits that give you that option. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot else to say on this. It looks like it's going to be a decent keyboard.
That's a weird production perk. $10 off, first run production perks. A live Q&A with project leads Yanbo and John. Like, can I ask them a question without needing to pay $10 or save the $10? Okay.
Yeah. But a couple notable things. That does have hot swappable switches. I hope they mean the KL hot swap sockets. It looks like they do.
Yeah.
Which is cool. It will be programmable via QMK for all you experts out there that are in love with that. And I believe maybe it's just the way the switches look, but does it have per key RGB?
I believe
some pictures it looks like it does, but it could just be the light from the underglow coming up through the switches as well.
Yes, optimized per key lighting with millions of colors. I control F'd it.
Okay, perfect. That's cool. So you get per key RGB, you get the underglow, you get QMK support, and hot swap sockets for under $200. So that's not bad. I think that's actually fairly good.
This is gonna be really interesting as this launches. It's basically like a mini Control, as basically they market it as. I know a lot of people are. Brian and I will say are we'll stay neutral about this the best we can. But a lot of people have a lot of strong opinions about this one way or another, about its resemblance to another board. That's not really what we're going to talk about today. Maybe that's something we can talk about in the future, but trying to do the news today. So whether or not you think this is for a good guy or a bad guy, that's up to you. But you know who's a bad guy, Brian? Or the bad guys? Decepticons are the bad guys. And our next keyboard features Decepticons on them, which is an interest check for the N and H by N and H OP84 TKL. It's going to be it's going to be 435 expected. Let me show you what's interesting. This picture right here that I pulled up on the stream. Look at that blocker. Ooh, the people who don't care about right mods, right bottom row, the people who don't care about right shift.
What is this? That can't be real. Is this real?
Like, someone made a real... They got to that stage. Like, that's a real prototype. And you know what? No, hey, I will say one thing, though. Okay? I'll say one thing. I would rather type on that than the board they have in the background of that shot.
So, all right. So you get no right shift. So this is really for your left shifters only. And oh man, that blocker is extreme. That really kind of kills your compatibility. But oh man. What does chat think about this board? I need to know what chat thinks about this. Gotta type on that over the minivan.
Does it transform? Well, it has those giant side wedges for accents.
and for all of your transforming needs. This is worse than that KBD Fan 75. Wow. All right.
No, I'd rather you type on this than the KBD 75 with the numpad that I'd have to shave off a metal standoff on.
Don't touch my right shift, please. I'm the same way. I use right shift whenever I type. Zombie says he's more interested in the membrane board in the back. Wow. Aesthetics are horrible. Okay. So
yeah.
maybe not a complete community pleaser, but I'm sure there is someone in the market that is into something like this.
Yes, and speaking of being in the market, a lot of people have a lot of old Switches. They wish they could find a way to be marketable. But now there might be a chance with an interest check for a DIY retrofit kits for cherry, black, red, browns, and blues, transforming them into ergo clears of those weights. This is from HB Heroin Bob. A lot of you guys may know him from doing a lot of Ochimu stuff. He's big on switches and switch modding and trying out to make different switches.
He's really big on making things accessible and affordable for the community. That's kind of been like his whole spiel over since he started doing this. And this is not really an exception, honestly. And he's also very nice. He's always willing to send out samples and stuff if you pay for postage. Like, he even says that in the post here.
Yeah,
he's anyone curious to try, hit me up. Yeah, he's sent me several samples of things. Anyway, the main thing to take away from this is he's had a new stem made that is supposed to be basically like an upgraded MX Clear. It was modeled after an MX Clear, but it's supposed to feel better, more tactile. Some people might want that, and he's proposing a price of 25 cents per Switch kit, which will come with that new stem. It'll come with an Otemu clear top, which are very stable tops. He puts those on vintage blacks all the time. I have some too, very stable Switch. And also a spring of your weight choice, 62 gram, 68 gram, 75 gram, or 80 gram. So for 25 cents, you get a stem, a top, and a spring. Not too bad. There's also a $3 optional drill bit, just in case you want to widen the... is it the pole? Is that what people call it? In the bottom of your Switch, where the spring goes over and like stays in place. So he talks about this in the post, but apparently during during when they make it, the plastic shrinks, and the switch actually doesn't hold the spring as well as it's supposed to, and that results in inconsistencies and actually some scratchiness, according to him. But with this drill bit, you can widen the hole and change the shape just a little bit to where it's supposedly better for the spring and gives you a better overall switch experience. That's something I'd be really interested in trying, actually.
Same.
Just to compare.
You know what, Brian? You should PM him, because he says he has samples for those curious to try.
I will happily pay my own U.S. postage and try to get a sample of all this stuff.
Yeah.
And that'll be good.
That would be great top Clackarino stuff. But yeah, if you guys are interested, you know, comment on this. I think this is actually a pretty awesome thing. I literally have over 300 Cherry MX housings just sitting here. If I could just pay, I would be down to pay 25 cents to get springs, tops, and stems for them to make them into budget ergo clears. For me, that'd be great. For me, totally worth it as a builder who has a lot of just parts lying around. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes.
Yep. Definitely look forward to this one.
Actually, I'm going to switch the order of these topics. Speaking of modifying a lot of stuff, a lot of people like modifying stabilizers. And a good source that you should look at on a guide is Mr. Nathan Kim's very own video on how to clip, lube, band-aid mod your stabilizers. He is a fellow YouTuber. He's a great guy. You should, if you haven't seen his stuff, he has the best typing sounds on the internet. They sound amazing. But he has his wonderful almost 8-minute guide. Not too long, guys. Come on.
It's really good too.
It's really good. Really
informative.
Like learn to lube your stabs, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He does admit that he used a little bit more lube than he normally would because he was looking through his camera and not at what he was doing. So when I watched it, I was like, the technique is really good. It's smart. It's methodical. But he used a lot of lube in a lot of places, which is not really a problem, but just something to take note of. Otherwise, video very good.
Yes, would recommend if you have the time, if you have the 8 minutes, go through, watch it, subscribe to him if you haven't yet either. He's a cool guy. He's a bit over halfway to 1,000 subs. Top Clack, let's get him to 1,000. Let's get him to 1,000.
Yeah, I don't think he's not very far off. Yeah, this one video did a lot for him too. I think it's a great video that a lot of people in the community really needed.
Yeah, a lot of people definitely needed this. My dude Kim, that is great. Speaking of things that people need in the community, people need to make things easier for the potatoes like Brian and I. And there was one person, oops, wrong thing. Why am I keep switching to the wrong thing? Who definitely made things a lot easier for us, which is our good friend Mech Merlin,
mechanical keyboard,
who made a QMK tutorial and a QMK configurator preview for creating key maps and hexes. This is also another amazingly great guide. I've been told it's a great guide, and the reason I've been told it is because I haven't watched it yet. And the reason we're bringing this up today, other than to let you guys know this is a great guide, you should watch it, is tomorrow I will be live on stream after work, watching this video for the first time with the Twitch audience and trying to program a board with QMK based off of this. The last time Brian and I had tried to use QMK, it took us 4 hours with the help of 2 QMK experts.
Yeah, we still didn't really get it.
Yeah, we still didn't really get it, but Mark told me the configurator works amazingly now that Jack and Scully and the whole community have been working on, and all the guides have been much easier. So tomorrow on stream, I'm going to be doing it live, watching the video for the first time, going through it for the first time. I've rebuilt my computer recently, and I did like a full Windows wipe, so I don't have like the toolkit or anything installed. I'm doing this completely fresh. So
we'll see how good the guide really can work for someone stupid like Huey and myself.
Yeah, so I'm really excited. So tomorrow I'm gonna be trying this out. I'm gonna fit it in before the castle build stream. So that should be pretty hunky dory. And I mean, yeah, it should be pretty good. It should be pretty great. Speaking of great, our sponsors, they be great.
They definitely be great.
They're better than our sponsor GIF.
We really need to fix that. Anyways, yes, we have sponsors, even though we don't have the sponsor give up. We're sorry about that. Hopefully, next episode we'll have that fixed so it doesn't destroy our stream for whatever reason. It's only Zeal's. It's only Zeal's GIF out of the four that destroys it. Anyways, whatever. Moving on. So, if you haven't checked out Z Frontier, aka the Beast from the East, you definitely should. They stock all sorts of awesome key sets, probably more so than anyone else, any vendors in the community. So, if you're in the market for key sets, maybe check out Z Frontier. They have free shipping on like pretty much everything over $100. So, pretty decent prices. They will have the ALF X3 Renova. I don't know if it's Renova or Renova. I think it's Renova. Anyways, that should be coming out hopefully pretty soon in group buy format, and that's going to be a really good time. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to build the prototype that I got for several reasons that I won't get into. But if we're lucky, we'll get an updated prototype that we'll be able to build, and that'll be Hunky and Dory.
Speaking of Hunky and Dory, I had nothing there.
Take your pick.
But Novel Keys, great partner with great switches. Check out Novel Keys. They run a lot of stuff, including every week we're gonna say this, but like that shoe shirt, just mouse over that. There's mouse over that on the store, and you see
everyone needs to see
the
him.
most amazing picture of Mr. Mike Sickler in the world. GMK Olivia group buy, join it. Novelties shoe shirt, get on it. Desk pads, get on them. He's been saying on the Top Clack Discord, he's gotten a lot of samples lately. So hopefully we'll be seeing a lot of cool new desk pads coming out from him. So that's pretty exciting.
And of course, Box Royals. Those are coming soon too. That's next month, is what we've been hearing. So pretty soon if you've been into that.
Yes, and he also now has these blue-gray XDA keycap switches if you want a nice blank set to throw on a simple keyboard. So check that out when you get a chance.
Speaking of simple keyboards, or non-simple keyboards, whatever. Kono.store, powered by Input Club, our awesome sponsor. They got lots of things going on. They got the Trouble Minds key set group buy going on. If you missed that last time, or whatever, that's apparently now like super back in fashion. I don't know. So you can get that in essay format. Pretty cool stuff. White Foxes, you can pick up one of those. There's wood cases. The Kickstarter for the Kira is still going on.
Did it end?
Did it end?
I could have swore I saw an Instagram post today saying there's an hour left. I'm pretty sure I saw it this morning.
Oh, my bad. Okay, my bad. It is not running then. I just checked. But don't worry, that project way more than met its goal. So obviously it's happening, and it's going to happen quite well. So pretty good stuff there. As
Top
well
Clack t-shirts. Get a Top Clack t-shirt though.
Yeah.
No, don't get one, get two. Save on shipping. Do a mini group buy for Top Clack t-shirts actually.
That's smart actually.
So get yourself and like 8 other Canadians.
Bundle it with stuff you're already getting. That's the best way to do it, honestly. Pick up some Hako switches. They got Hako Trues and Clears in stock, and I believe the Hako Violets are still in stock too. They're pretty good. I've been using them a lot lately. I like them.
Yeah.
Oh, show. And of course, pick up your A5 Plus wireless speakers there as well. I don't know why, but it just makes me laugh every time I scroll by it.
Oh, what's no laughing joke is my webcam has not died. It's back alive, I promise. A big major switch in the community are Zeal switches, of which round 11 group buy for the whole Zeal switch thing is up. It is going. So if you want some round 11 Blue Xylem switches, get on them. I'm really liking mine and my E6. Probably gonna open them up and lube them though, as Zeal recommends. And I need to do that still. I still need to lube my my Telios, which I want to get another batch of actually soon to have. I don't know. I feel like I need another board of Telios. I really like them. Probably get another batch and lube them. You can get some normal round 11 purple Zelios, of which I highly recommend the 78 gram, which is,
Yeah, I really enjoy the 78 gram. I've been using them in the time TKO. It's been pretty darn nice. All right, that is it for our sponsor spot. But I do have something I want to talk about real quick, just momentarily.
Heart to heart.
Just heart to heart. All right, guys. So we've probably talked about this before earlier on, but I just want to bring it up again. And I'm not naming names or pointing fingers or anything. Pretty much all of you guys are fantastic about it, and we really appreciate it. But it has been brought to my attention by someone, again, not naming names, but that we are kind of losing our focus now that we have sponsors, and maybe we treat them better than we should, or we maybe misrepresent a product because it's from our sponsor, et cetera, things like that. And I will straight up say that I think that is definitely not really true, and I think if anything has seemed that way, it's completely accidental, I assure you. Like, I know like it looks like we're selling out, but like we're totally not. Like, and actually what's funny is I was thinking about preparing a fun little like segment where I basically just tell you everything that's wrong about all of our sponsors, things they have done wrong, points where they failed, to show that they're not perfect. And just because there are sponsors, they don't only have gold for all of their products. I'll pick on Zeal for a second. I like Zeal a lot as a person. He does a lot of really cool things. Not everything he does is cool. He's got these hold tights that he stocks on the store. Like, they're really not that good. Like, hold tights suck. I don't really care for 65 gram Zelios. I think they're actually kind of a bad switch. But I really like the 78 gram. Like, just stuff like that. Like, not everything that our sponsors do is perfection, and people need to realize that. But
I'm gonna say this now. Like, there's a reason every time I do the Zeal sponsor spot, I'm only saying what I support. 67 gram tactile, which is still I still prefer. Like I said, I always say I prefer 78 much more, and I like Telios, and I like my Xylants, but I don't care really for the 62 or 65s, and that's the truth. And when we talk about the sponsors and what we like, and what as we talk about them, we are only talking about the things that we like, and we mean it when we like those things. I mean, all of our sponsors have actually been pretty open to us about, like, hey, did we mess up? Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, and we'll give them feedback, and like we're not paid to like everything they have, because that would be really unfair to the community. Like, we've turned down sponsors because we didn't want them as sponsors because of maybe something that happened in the past. So like, it's not like we're just trying to make money here. Like, money is nice and it helps top Clack, but like, the goal isn't to make as much money as fast as possible, because if we were trying to do that, we could be making more. But we really do want to try to stay true to the community for everything. And it's kind of a bummer that one, or even like anyone, might think otherwise. So if you guys think that we're sellouts, then I'm sorry. There's not really a whole lot else I can tell you guys. I don't think we are, and I mean, there are times where we bash on our sponsors' products. Huey's got a review bash on Input Club coming out really soon, because we try to be always truthful.
Because SA Lime is garbage for a myriad of reasons that I will go into a review coming out soon. But speaking of things coming soon, is our guest coming on a line. I'm gonna hit us with that blank transition screenerino while we call Mr. Ryan Whitwam on. Hello, Ryan. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Think nothing of it. It is nice to be here.
Awesome. So, for the people that might not be aware of who you are, could you maybe give us just a quick rundown of who you are and what you do around the keyboard community?
So I'm a science and technology journalist. I write about lots of stuff and have for years, but in the last two and a half years, I've been able to start writing about mechanical keyboards because I guess the community is getting large enough now that my editors are going for it when I pitch the ideas. So yeah, I've written like some like build log type things on Extreme Tech. I've done like sort of general guides on geek.com. And I have just recently started doing a weekly column on basically whatever keyboard thing I want to write about on tested.com, which is fun. So I get to cover whatever, interesting stuff is going on in the community that, I feel like, I want to write about. So yeah, no, I mean, it's the keyboard stuff. It's not all that I do, but it is an increasingly large part, which is nice.
Nice. So, like, what got you into mechanical keyboards? What made you actually want to write about them and use them in such a way?
So, I mean, I've been writing at least semi-professionally for about 10 years, and so I type a lot. And shortly after I started doing that, back in like 2010, maybe, I guess, I started to notice that I was destroying membrane keyboards pretty often. I had just like cheap Logitech keyboards or whatever, and the domes would get all wonky after 6 months because I'm typing like thousands of words a day, and those boards just don't, like, they're not designed to stand up to that. And that was back before like a lot of the really interesting keyboard stuff was happening. So I bought a DOS keyboard too, which is it's still to this day is a fine keyboard. I have it in a drawer someplace, I guess. And I used that for a couple of years, and then when I was like, oh, I should maybe get a new keyboard because I just like redid my office and got a new desk and monitors and everything. It's like, why not? And this was probably at 2014, I guess, and I started like looking up keyboard stuff, and I was like, oh my god, these things didn't used to exist. Like, look at all these cool key sets, and like, what are these switches? And these layouts are wild. So I started researching, and my wallet has never been the same. But it gave me an opportunity to sort of, expand what I do work-wise to talk about something that I personally really like. Just sort of like, I guess it's a theme for me. I always end up writing about like things that used to be a hobby for me as work, which it leads to fulfilling work, but maybe it's not the most healthy thing to do long term, to turn all of your hobbies into work.
Yeah. Has that kind of become a problem now that, what you do is so centered around what you were originally just a hobbyist for?
It makes it a lot easier to justify buying new keyboards. So I suppose in that way it has been kind of a problem. I feel like I'm very, very lucky to be able to do like, what I love for a living. Everybody should have the option to like do something that they love. So I realize like I'm super lucky. So to even like imply that like, I don't want to have my hobbies be my work seems inappropriate because like I joke about it, but I really do. I mean, I get to do awesome stuff for a living. And being able to integrate like the keyboard stuff into what I write about has been a good time because I mean, when I'm like poking around the mechanical keyboard subreddit for an hour, that's work. That's
Yeah.
I'm working. I can tell my wife, sorry, I can't. Look, I'm busy right now. I can't help with whatever. I'm working.
She's like, you're literally just looking at keyboards.
Exactly.
It's work.
It's all business. It's all business. All right, cool. So how did you wind up at a place like tested.com? Because tested.com is pretty well known in the tech community because, Adam Savage, obviously a pretty big name.
So my association with Tested goes way back to when the site originally started up. That was about 2010. So before that, so Tested was like my second for real writing gig ever. Before that, I wrote for Maximum PC, which no longer exists. I think it's part of like PC Gamer now. Mm-hmm. So I was writing about like a computer hardware. And the editor in chief and one of the top editors from Maximum PC left, and they started Tested. Will Smith was the editor in chief there for a while, and then he left. Norm is still there. He's one of the founding editors. And then that was before Adam Savage actually was involved. It used to be a site that was run by this company called Whiskey Media that also did Giant Bomb. And then that company was sort of dissolved, and Adam Savage's production company bought Tested. So, way back then, I wasn't writing mechanical keyboard things for Tested, obviously. I was writing mostly about Android for them, but sort of the focus of Tested has changed over the years. Now, with the Adam Savage involvement, of course, it's a lot more about DIY and design and stuff. And so the mechanical keyboard angle fits a lot better. So I was writing the occasional mechanical keyboard thing for Tested, previously. And then just about a couple of months ago, I decided to switch over like what I do for them on a regular basis. Like my regular column was going to be a keyboard thing. So that's what I do for them now. But I like, and I write about Android in a bunch of other places anyway. So it's not like I don't get to get my smartphone fix. It's just, finding a new outlet for like all of my keyboard nerdery.
Do you feel like mechanical keyboards is going to eventually consume your life?
I feel like it's already consumed like my spare brain cycles. Like when I'm not doing something else, sometimes I'm thinking like, man, I really need to get those switches, or I need to like find out like what's going on. I need to like lube that board. I need to find out what's happening with that group buy. I feel like it's a thing that even if I wasn't able to write about it, it's the kind of hobby that I would still spend a lot of time messing around with. I mean, like right now when I know I have like a keyboard that's going to hit the mailbox, I pretty much clear my schedule that afternoon because I know as soon as it shows up, like like no more work is getting done. It's going to I'm going to have to build this keyboard, but sometimes I can turn that into work, so it's okay.
All right, cool. So obviously you mentioned building and lubing keyboards. So that means you're kind of past that state of just entry-level boards, and you're actually buying and building and tuning custom keyboards. So what are some of your favorites that you've been working on lately?
My favorite board probably overall right now is the M65A. I absolutely love the keyboard. I have it right here. I love it so much. It is a fantastic board. But it's also like not travel friendly at all.
No.
So I have a minivan that I also really, really love. It's one of my favorite boards as well. And that's the one that I take when I have to like go out of town on business, like a trade show or something. I take the minivan usually, which is fun because people don't know what to make of that when I pull that out at an event. And then I've got like 8 customs. We could spend the next hour just talking about the keyboards that I have that I can see right now. But like it's a lot. I mean, like I have a KBD 75 that I had stripped and re-anodized carbon orange. And I have the carbon SA key set on it because KBD fans like the original orange anodizing was not orange. It was like red. I actually have a whole like build blog thing of that up on Extreme Tech if anybody is curious. But when I posted that, it was GMK carbon. But I just switched it to the SA set when that came in. But I get more like emotional satisfaction from typing on keyboards that I have built, that I have soldered together.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Once you kind of go down that custom DIY road, it's kind of hard to turn back because it just is so satisfying to type on something that like you actually put together. You made all these decisions and physically built it. So totally awesome. And I'm sure we'll get into a Q&A in a little bit, guys, just like we always do. And it never fails. Someone's going to ask you to show your entire collection. Like I swear we get that question for every single guest. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to
I
it.
could just, if I lean over far enough, I think I can grab all of them off the wall.
Yeah, so a question I have. So as someone who basically writes weekly about keyboards, what are some very interesting angles about studying the community that you like to study, whether it be switch modding, writing about just customs in general, writing about key sets and keycap designers, maybe even writing about the artisan community? Which different categories of the community really, really catch your eye in that kind of respect?
I think a lot of the most interesting stuff happening right now is in switch design. Just like in the last year, so many interesting switches have shown up, and a lot of that is like Kale basically saying, "Hey, we have these box designs. Would you like to do every possible thing with these?" I've never really been like a clicky switch kind of person. But I got a bunch of box pale blues, and I was like, these are fantastic. I love these.
Yep.
Who would have thought somebody would make a clicky switch that I actually like to use? So I'm very interested in like how switch designs are changing, and things are kind of moving away from like, look, this is a clone of Cherry's design, and it still operates sort of a similar way. You can put the same keycaps on it, but it's got different qualities, and it looks physically different, and whatever it's like water resistant. Like I don't think anybody cares.
In our community, no, nobody cares about that feature. It's just kind of a bonus.
Your Switch maybe, but your PCB is certainly not.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, the Switch stuff I think is really interesting. There's a lot to say about that. But just looking at pretty key sets is always fun too. And talking about like the materials and like the way they're produced is, I think it's especially interesting to people who are not familiar with how custom keyboards operate. It kind of depends on the the audience that you're writing for. I mean, you guys are focused on like the people watching this podcast. You're focused on people who know a lot about keyboards. Most of the things that I write, there might be people like us that read them every now and then, but most of the people will be, normals. They'll be like, you spend how much on a keyboard? Why in the name of all that is holy would I do that?
And you have to build it?
I know, right? Yeah, no, I've gotten that exact comment.
It doesn't even come with caps?
Yeah. So it's like, you have to know your audience. And so like, especially like with the tested column I'm doing now, I've been trying to sort of ease everybody into it. I'm covering like I'm talking about like, hey, this is what the cherry profile is. Like, these are what GMK caps are, and this is why they're cool. And then I can link back to that when I, want to talk about something else and I want to mention that in passing. I don't need to like explain all over again.
Do you get a lot of questions about mechanical keyboards based on your articles?
I have people pester me on Twitter pretty frequently, but that, whatever. That's okay. That's what Twitter is for. Yeah, no, I mean, I a lot of people will be like, hey, where do I get that keyboard? And then the answer is, oh, well, if you had $400 and a time machine, you could have that keyboard. Sorry.
Or if you have $850
yeah, exactly.
now. Yeah, and a lot of time and aren't afraid of aftermarket.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So just stepping away from keyboards for a second, have you actually spent a lot of time with or talking to Adam Savage? This is just personal curiosity.
I have never had the opportunity to meet him.
Oh, okay, that's a bummer. I'm an old Mythbusters fan, so
I know. So am I. I should talk to Norm and just tell him like, hey, the next time I'm in San Francisco.
Gotcha. All right. So now's probably an okay time to slowly move into a Q&A, since usually we get a fair amount of questions and we want to try to wrap up before like 7:30. Because Q&A has a tendency to go on way longer than it needs to. But we'll try to make sure we get some good questions. And so everybody in chat, if you guys have questions for any of us, particularly Ryan here, make sure to use the @TopClack tag in the chat so we can see the questions a lot easier. But of course, just trying to get back to basics here, we got to ask you the quintessential TopClack question: do you prefer waffles or pancakes, and why?
Waffles are the only acceptable answer because a pancake instantly gets too gooey when you put syrup on it.
Have you considered less syrup?
No.
Have you considered better pancakes?
I feel like the amount of syrup that is necessary means that your pancake will always get soggy.
So you're just not eating it fast enough, I think, is your problem.
I don't know, or maybe just too much syrup by your standards. But I mean, one of us is wrong. Yeah. I'm just saying.
Darn. Yeah, for background purposes, Huey and I are both team pancakes.
Mm-hmm.
But we have found that pancake tends to be the minority among the guest answers. Almost everyone seems to prefer waffles. All right, lots of questions already coming in. So Not G10 is asking, show shirt and where can we find it?
Oh,
people have been going off about your Star Trek shirt.
It's got the Enterprise D on it. I got it from the Roddenberry shop. Actually, they sent me an email because I bought the Galaxy class thing, that they're making, and so now they send me emails, and I usually don't pay attention, but I was like, oh no, but that shirt, I'm gonna buy that right now, and I did.
Nice. All
so
right.
Email marketing works sometimes.
Jetpack Tuxedo is asking to ask you if you and or the Tested crew are coming to the Seattle Mechanical Keyboard Meetup.
I am not. I don't know if anybody from Tested is planning to. I imagine not. I mean, they're not in the Seattle area. They're down in San Francisco. So I don't know. Maybe I'll mention it to Norm and see if maybe he wants to like go.
Or he could just send you for a business trip.
It's all business.
When I don't even know when is that meetup happening?
July 29th. Hopefully, someone in chat can correct me if that's wrong. It's either July 22nd or July 29th. I never remember. But that will be at the Seattle Living Computers Museum. I think that's where we're doing it again this year. But we might actually have a different location. I'm not entirely sure.
28th, according to Pudsey.
28th? Okay.
And
so still about 3 months out. But yeah, if you can make, I don't know what area of the country you're in, but if it's ever...
I'm in Minnesota, possibly the one metro area that has not been able to get a keyboard meetup together. It has actually been kind of frustrating for me.
I actually know several keyboard enthusiasts in Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe that could be a thing. Yeah, because if you've never actually been to a mechanical keyboard meetup, as someone that writes about them, you really should.
Yeah, no, definitely. If I can ever make it to one, there are going to be articles. That's going to happen.
It's a surreal experience.
It's an amazing experience, yeah.
Zerpocalypse asking the real questions here. What is Ryan's favorite type of Switch, and has he tried Holy Pandas?
I have not tried Holy Pandas, although I would like to. My favorite Switch, I think overall, is a 67-gram Zelio. It's the one that I find most consistently enjoyable. I mean, like I said earlier, I mean, I love box pale blues, but I don't feel like I could use them all the time. Like my M65, my minivan are both 67-gram Zelios. That's like, when I want to use a board for a long time, that's kind of the Switch that I default to. Although I have some Xylants here that I'm pretty into. I'm looking forward to using those on something.
Nice. Are you a fan of linears at all, or do you tend to?
Not really. I mainly tactile and some clicky, but yeah, linears, I guess they just don't do it for me.
I wonder if that's just because you haven't tried the right combination.
I don't know. Maybe. I also have some Telios here. I don't know. Maybe I'll build something with those. I don't know what. I don't know if I'd want to sully a PCB with those.
All right. Once you're converted, come talk to me. All right. This guy is 256K is asking Ryan, since you write a lot about keyboards and is kind of... Wait, what? That's not a word. I think he means kind of in the bridge between the community and the mass media. How do you feel about the growth of the community, and where do you see it going?
It's crazy how much bigger it's gotten just since I've been sort of aware of custom keyboards. I mean, like I said earlier, it's gotten to the point where I can pitch editors on this, and they're like, yeah, that sounds good. That'll get traffic, and they, and people are interested, and they ask questions. I think I think as much flack as Massdrop gets in the community, and sometimes quite rightly, stuff like that is kind of really what like connects our community to like sort of general technology enthusiasts, because when you have a group buy that's like some guy on a forum and you're just going to PayPal him $400, it's hard to like pitch that to people. But Massdrop, for all of its flaws, it's run like a regular retail storefront, and it makes this hobby look like something that is more accessible. Because the big problem with getting people into it is that it's just really hard to get started. And products like that 65 that Massdrop is launching tomorrow, like that's the sort of thing you can show somebody and say, hey, look, it's under $200. It's probably, we would hope, a great keyboard. And it's you don't have to solder it together. So buy this and enjoy your keyboard. I think that, I mean, I like soldering things. Like I find that very satisfying. But for the most part, I think if the community is going to keep growing like it has been, the kits have to get easier. Like hot swap needs to kind of be the default.
Yeah, for sure. All right, that guy is okay to me is asking all-time favorite key set. I think that's for all of us. We get this question all the time, and like I still never know. Yeah. I'm like I like GMK Cyan a lot.
I mean, I guess for me it's a toss up between GMK Carbon and Nautilus.
Nautilus.
Those are my two. I mean, that's like on my M65 right now. I have the Carbon Alphas and the Nautilus mods.
You know, I think those are two answers we've never actually received for that question before. That's pretty awesome.
Well, I'm happy to be the first. No, I love GMK sets, like, for sure. And Carbon is like one of my favorite colorways. And I like GMK more than I like SA, so that's an easy pick. And I just think Nautilus is a really fun colorway.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, Carbon, I think to this day, Carbon might actually still be the highest selling
got mine right here.
colorway for key sets. I think it's sold more units than anything else.
Yeah.
Zoology is asking, has Adam Savage settled on a mechanical keyboard to meet his Bluetooth needs?
I don't know. I remember when that happened a couple weeks ago. I have not checked into that. You would probably know. You would have just as much chance to know as I do.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Zerpocalypse, thanks for gifting that sub to Zombuman. That's cool. I like how it tells us that as well. That's great. Sir Tangled Dangle, great username by the way. In your opinion, what is the best hot swappable switchboard? Best hot swappable switchboard. I don't know if he means like full keyboard or if he means strictly PCB. Obviously, we don't have a ton of like standalone.
The only one that I've used is a K-type. So I mean, and I thought that was a fine keyboard.
I mean, I'm gonna say it now. The best one of all of them is probably the two that haven't been released: the Tokyo 60 and the M60. That's probably just gonna be it. If you're gonna say like a whole package.
Yeah, I think that's my answer as well.
In terms of like just PCB, then it's like. Definitely.
You don't really have options.
Yeah, I mean, there's the new HS60. I need to buy like two of those.
Yeah, which hasn't shipped yet. No. That's just like running.
There's the GK64, which is a no for me. So yeah, don't really have options.
Yeah. Well,
no, that's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, that's gonna be a better question like a year from now.
Ooh, yeah.
When Kale hot swap sockets and stuff, maybe other technologies come a lot more to life by that point. Texas Breakfast is asking Ryan, any group buys you are currently eyeing or that you have already entered but are looking forward to?
Oh God. I am waiting on a Southpaw 65 and a CA 66 and GMK Laser. And probably some other stuff that I'm not remembering. I joined the Hub Kickstarter, but that didn't happen. Yeah, I think those are the ones that come to mind. I probably more. So I have a problem. I don't know if I've made that clear.
But it's work. If you're like many people in the community and you have a problem with that, it's like a double-edged sword. A lot of people create an Excel sheet to keep track of everything, but they make the mistake of putting prices.
You don't want to remember that.
I mean, for me, because like we were talking about earlier, this is work. They're all technically, as far as I'm concerned, they're all tax write-offs. So I actually do have to keep track of the prices. I need to figure that out and like I need to update my tax documents.
Yeah. Man, Top Tac really needs to start doing that too.
Yeah.
Huangvu95 is asking, pretty good question actually. What color combo for key sets that hasn't been in interest check or group buy phase that you guys really like? Mine is gold on black GMK. So basically, key sets that don't exist, what colorways would we like to see?
That's a tough question. Like, design a key set right now on the spot. Go
in your head.
Basically, yeah.
I don't
know.
I
mean, if you have thought about color combos in the past, maybe that you're a fan of, kind of silly, but I would like to see more silver.
I was just thinking, I would like a sort of like medium gray tone and like oranges kind of. I think that's like a fun color combo.
I would like it. I know it's possible. Guys, I've seen ABS with it. ABS, but you sprinkle like glittery silver particles, and you have that for the legends. So you have like a glittery silver alpha, just the legend. No, the keycap's still normal. Like those are the legends. That's what I would want. It's so loud and
cool.
Out there, but like
no, actually, I think if you're just doing the legend, it probably wouldn't even be that loud. Like it might actually be pretty interesting. Anyways, 256K is asking Ryan, since you have a minivan, have you backed the now shut down hub profile campaign?
Oh yeah, I did. I just mentioned that a minute ago. I did, and yeah, that made me sad. I was in for 3 sets. I was very into that, but I got to try some of the 3D printed prototypes. I posted a thing on Tested actually 2 weeks ago about it, and I liked how they felt. That was like a good combo of shapes for me.
Nice. Zambuman is asking, have you been following the Desk Authority Awards? If so, what do you think about them?
I have not, so I think that I should probably do that.
Yeah, I think
I
haven't been following them.
I haven't this year. I followed them the last 2 years, and it's part of the reason I stopped following them is their tastes as a community is significantly different from RMK and Keycaps. RMK and Keycaps have much more in common than anyone has with Desk Authority. That's how I usually feel about Desk Authority, and I love the mindset of Desk Authority, but like it's just so far from my normal conventional thinking for how I view keyboards, because they're very, very strong on like that vintage game and that old information.
Yeah, which is cool. It's very,
oh my goodness.
it's very necessary and very needed. But you know, it is a little bit different of a mindset than you know, your average RMK user, or you know, maybe even your average Keycap user.
Yeah,
which is fine. But yeah, no, I think at least last year they let RMK users vote. Like you didn't have to be.
Oh my God, there's so much salt.
An Authority user, and that did kind of form a backlash that we won't really talk about. I think we got nominated last year, didn't we? Was that last year?
Did we?
The year before?
2 years ago. We got nominated once.
How many times does it only happen once a year?
I don't know, dude. I just work here.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we were nominated last year, but I don't think it went any farther than that. All right, Norbauer, got him in the chat. Very nice. Saying, regarding the prior question someone asked, I spoke to Norm in LA last week, and he expressed desire/intent to come film with Tested at the next Northern California meetup.
I guess I need to hurry up and finish working on those meetup details then.
And make it as baller or more baller than the last one was.
Oh my God! I need a staff. I need like hire an intern if I want to run it like that again.
Top Clack needs like 2 interns for like a lot of reasons. All right. Oh wow. Not too many questions today apparently. That was the bulk of it. Flexkey Pastor is asking for Ryan, artisans or no artisans?
Artisans sometimes. I'm pretty picky about the ones that I will spend money on. I like Fugus. I have one on my M65. And I have a couple of Fugus. I like snappers. The jack ball caps I'm pretty into. Those are fun. Yeah, but I mean, I see a lot of artisans. I'm like, no, that's fine. I don't think I want it on my keyboard all the time, though. And I won't use any that aren't matched. Like if they're not exactly the right colorway, I'm not gonna do that.
Nice. All right. Kemba Sitter's asking, what's in those boxes behind you? Of course, you don't have to answer.
Boxes like behind me. Oh, my shelf back here.
Yeah.
That's literally like all of the things. Like anything that I have in my office that doesn't have like a home sitting out someplace is in a box, and you probably can't see, they have little labels on them because I always have this intention of keeping things neat and tidy, but really they just go in whatever box has space.
Yeah.
A couple of them are like full of phones, and a couple are like tablets, and then one is like a stack of old Chromebooks. This is a tech
reporter.
This is my life.
Nice. Lunar Samba is asking if you could show us your collection.
Okay, hold on. Let me just lean. Okay, so I already showed you guys the M65 and the minivan, but these are both like easy to reach because I use them all the time. Yeah. And then this is a Zeal 60 that has canvas on it, and this is a Red Scarf 78. This has my 78 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 Red Scarf my pale blue switches, and it's overcast, obviously. And
pale blues are great, man. That's a good switch.
They are okay, and this is my carbon board. It's a KBD 75 that's like actually orange. Has
is there
carbon
a
SA on it.
On the bottom? Is that what that
yes, there's a little orange fugu.
Nice.
Let's see here.
Oh, you know it gets serious when he takes out the headphones.
And white fox with granite, or not granite, with quartz.
Very nice.
And so it's the first run, the Primo.
Prima. Yeah, very nice.
And let's see. Well, this is gonna be kind of a stretch. So you can all tell I'm on a podcast, but I am wearing pants.
I am not.
This is the Saber 68. It's like, Originative's version of the Tata, and it has Godspeed on it, obviously. Enjoy that quite a bit.
Do you have the aluminum case on that one?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, cool. The aftermarket aluminum one. And then last one. So this is my Tron themed board. It's a Centrac S65, and it has orange Alps.
Ooh, nice.
Very nice.
Very nice. Always love to see love for the Alps switches.
Yes. Yes, there's a whole write-up on that project on Extreme Tech as well. That was a month-long project getting all that stuff worked out.
Cool. All right.
Yeah,
well,
so
there you go.
That's all.
Collection.
And now they're all over my desk.
Texas Breakfast is asking, do you have a keyboard tattoo?
I don't. I can't. Maybe one of these days. I don't know. I haven't really found any iconic keyboard item that I think I want to have indelibly inserted into my skin.
That's very fair.
Yeah, it's very fair.
I mean, it's not. I'm not like above getting a keyboard tattoo. I think people who have a lot of tattoos kind of realize once you get a certain number of them, you're okay getting kind of weird ones. Like, it's not a big deal.
It starts to matter a lot less because you've already been there.
If you have one tattoo, you don't want to get a weird one. But I'm to the point where I've gotten a couple like unusual ones. I have a Star Trek comm badge actually tattooed on my chest.
That's awesome.
Oh man. If that didn't break Twitch's terms of service, potentially, I would totally ask you to show that.
But maybe one of these days I'll just say, hey, I should just go get a cherry switch tattooed on my butt or whatever. I'm not actually gonna do that.
There is someone who actually got the switch patent for the Cherry MX switch on their arm.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be a good one. That would be fun.
Krellbit is asking, Ryan, have you looked at any prospective areas for a meetup in your area? Is Krellbit from Minnesota?
He is.
He is. I think he was going to organize one of the meetups that didn't happen.
I think Krellbit, I think that's a job for you, my friend. You should go on that.
I was at a brewery with some friends the other day, and they had a pretty big space. I was like, I could probably cram 50 keyboards in here. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't looked into the requirements. I don't know if people like to do them at places where you have to be 21 to be there. So
usually, at least the meetups that I've been to, there have been a lot of people under the age of 21 as well. Yeah. Pretty wide age range, as you probably expect.
This is just something I've considered in the extreme abstract. I talked to the one of the guys from Input Club a while ago about maybe helping me figure out how the hell I would do that, but they haven't gotten back to me yet. So I don't know. We'll see. It might be a thing that I do, but I would also like somebody else to do it, and I will help, but somebody needs to.
Yeah. Kuji is asking me, what are my thoughts on Solarized Dark now that I have it? Well, I have keys falling out because I have it partway opened. I think it's a lot better than a lot of other people might give it credit for. I'm trying to open it up without making too much of a mess here. So there it is. I don't know how well I'll be able to show this off. But I think it actually looks pretty nice. I was expecting it to look way worse in person than the renders, and it still looks relatively similar, in my opinion. So I'm not unhappy with it. I'm definitely gonna throw it on a board once I figure out which one, and I'll give it a shot, see how I like it. Zombie is asking low profile or high profile, and why low profile is wrong.
I do usually prefer high profile, except if it's something I'm going to travel with. High profile cases are usually, heavier, like high profile designs in general. I understand why people like low profile. They are a little bit easier to clean, right? But I like the sound that like an aluminum high profile case makes more. It's like if you have a low profile case and like the switches are floating, you hear more of like the unmodified switch noise. And like with the high profile, it's a little bit more muffled, and it feels like the sound of the case is what you hear.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's a big plus for me as well. That guy is okay to me is asking, what is the one innovation that you are glad to have? I'm assuming he means keyboard innovation. We'll go with that since this is a show. Turns out
the keyboard innovation. This is still like in the process, but I think Type C on keyboards is going to be a thing that I'm very happy about. I only have one Type C keyboard right now, but hopefully more soon.
A movement.
Yes, I want everything to be Type C, like everything. Like I write about Android phones a lot. That's like one of my main gigs, and like almost everything is Type C now. So like all of my mobile devices are Type C. If I can get my keyboards to be Type C, that would be good. If I can get like all of my other accessories, like my Bluetooth earbuds and stuff, to be Type C. A lot of accessories are still micro USB, which really bugs the crap out of me. But like we're getting close. We're almost there.
Yeah. Keyboard innovation that I'm glad to have. I'm honestly not really sure. GMK keycaps. Not really an innovation.
The innovations of 15 years ago, but it's still an innovation.
Or much farther back than that, because they're just effectively using the same cherry tooling. Yeah. But everything, it was an innovation at some point in time, right?
Yeah.
My favorite keyboard innovation is an old one, which was the first use of springs to modify switches, creating ergo clears. That set off a movement which is still seen today of people customizing switches and making new switches. That wouldn't have existed unless people decided just to try new things out with switches. So for me, like, ergo clears, as old as they are and as dated as they sound now, to me is like one of the big innovations that really kicked off keyboards, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right. Conboy Mac Don Dude is asking favorite keycap profile. Cherry.
Yep.
Always cherry. Yep. That's the pretty much only right answer there. Chemisitter is asking me, I didn't get the RGB mods. I'm assuming he means for Solarized Dark. No. Why would I pay extra to have my keyboard be a rainbow? I bought the set because I like the base colors. I don't need a rainbow. Conversely, I actually, for GMK Oblivion, which comes with the the rainbow mods in the base set, I bought the monochrome kit just so I didn't have to use those. That gives you any kind of indication on how I feel about that. Omega Supreme just subbed with Twitch Prime. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Twitch Prime doing work. Kuji is asking Ryan, what are your thoughts on split/ergo keyboards?
I don't have any. I think my main thought is I don't think I could ever get used to that.
Fair enough. I think a lot of people probably have that thought at first.
It's something I definitely recommend everyone should try. I think it's worth trying.
I maybe one day my carpal tunnel will get bad enough and I'll have to use one, but for the time being, I try not to switch back and forth too much between like super weird layouts. Like I feel like that would just confuse my brain.
All right. Megaforce is asking a non-keyboard question. How do you feel about the lack of 3.5mm ports on upcoming headphones? I think he means phones.
Smartphones.
Smartphones. Yeah.
So, my feelings on this are extensive and could probably be crammed into a completely different podcast. So I don't much care for it sort of in a day-to-day living with a phone without a headphone jack situation. Like, it annoys me. However, like there are phones I could buy right now and use that have headphone jacks, but I don't really use those ones because I don't like them as much for the most part. Like the phone that I use most days is a Pixel 2 XL, and it doesn't have a headphone jack. Like, I would like it to have a headphone jack, but it doesn't, and it's not a deal breaker for me. And I understand why companies are doing it, because the headphone jack is a large internal component, even though on the outside it's like a little hole, and you think, why can't they just keep that? But the thing they have to solder to the main board, it's big. It takes up a lot of space. And the engineering in a smartphone, it is so precise that if you put a headphone jack in a phone, like, something has to give. Recently, whether or not, who knows if they're lying, Razer released a phone. They put a 4,000 milliamp hour battery in it, which is big, and they said, hey, there's no headphone jack. If there was, this battery would be like 500 milliamp hours smaller. So I don't know. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's not. But I understand there are plenty of engineering reasons not to have a headphone jack. Even if I would like one, I feel like the direction things are going, you're just not going to get them anymore.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I don't have quite as many thoughts on it because I'm not a tech expert like Ryan is, but it's always kind of a bummer for me because, like, if I want to travel with, like, my nice pair of IEMs that I spent $70 to $100 on or whatever, and then I can't just, like, plug it into my phone, and, like, it's like, well,
I mean, most phones come with an adapter to 3.5 millimeter, but then you always have to wonder, like, how good is the DAC in that connector, because usually it's an external DAC, and a lot of them are bad. I stopped spending a lot of money on headphones a few years ago because I saw this coming. So, like, I just either use Bluetooth, or I actually have Type-C headphones that are pretty nice that I use, but it's still kind of a pain because not all phones use the exact same standard for audio out. So, you kind of further ahead to just use the adapter.
Yeah, like I've been wanting to upgrade to the Pixel 2, but, like, I really like being able to use my headphones. I use them pretty often.
it's a decision that is not going to get any easier for you.
Yeah. Oh well. Krellbent is asking Ryan, where can I contact you if you want to discuss planning a future meetup?
So if he or anybody wants to get in contact with me to have me, like, cover a thing they're doing, you can hit my website. I have a contact page that links to, like, my Twitter and has my email on it. I won't ask you to try to spell my name, but if you go to bit.ly, bit.ly/rwcontact, that will take you to that site. And then you can get a hold of me in whatever way, works best for you.
Cool. Do you have a Reddit profile as well that you kind of float around on?
I do. I am active enough on the subreddit. I'm Collufid42, COLLUPHID42. If anybody, people have probably seen me, like, floating around on the Reddit, like, complaining about whatnot. But yeah, I mean, if you want to look me up on Reddit too, you can just send me a message there.
Cool. All right, Lunar Sama is saying, speaking of ergo clears, I am planning to create a bunch from retooled clears. Should I break them in with lighter springs or lube them first? Huey and I are kind of fans of breaking in switches before lubing them if they are unused. So that's pretty much always going to be my opinion. Yep. Megaforce is asking, best upcoming Android phone that's not Samsung?
The best Android phone. Man, it depends what your definition of upcoming is. I know about things that I can't discuss in detail. I will say in the next month, you should keep an eye out for things that will quite possibly be better for you than Samsung. It'll be a thing. If you do a little bit of research, you'll probably figure out what this thing is that I can't talk about. Other than that, you might want to just wait until Pixel 3 this fall. I mean, that's what I would do if I were going to buy a phone. I would just wait until Pixel 3 happens. I mean, it's probably going to have a display notch. Like, sorry, that's just the way it is. But Pixel phones get updates, and that's a big deal.
Okay. We'll consider this our very last question. That guy is okay to me is asking, what is the worst Switch you've tried? MX Browns are cheating. All right, interesting.
The worst Switch that I have tried.
That aren't MX
okay.
Browns.
That's easy.
MX Reds.
Okay. This is actually recent. My least favorite probably is the Hako True. I did not like that Switch. I thought the clears were. I thought the clears were fine, but the Hako Trues feel like heavy linears that have like something wrong near the top. I'm like, and like, I love a lot of the stuff that Input Club does. Like, don't get me wrong, I think they do awesome stuff, but I don't think that Switch was particularly awesome.
All right, so I said that was the last question, but now I've got one for you. What's it like having numb fingers? Kidding. Obviously, we always respect everyone's opinions here, even if they're wrong.
Ryan, how about you? What's the worst Switch you've messed around with?
Worst Switch I've messed around with that is not an MX Brown. I mean, I could just take the easy road and say MX Red, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to actually think about this.
Wait, do the Razer Switches count?
What's funny is I actually like some of the Razer Switches more than a lot of Cherry Switches.
Really? I've used a couple of Razer boards and they've all been like weirdly inconsistent. I don't know.
Yeah.
If it's just bad way or what.
Man, tough question. Probably.
I can name so many that are worse than MX Browns.
It's Roamer G. Somebody says, yeah, technically Roamer G is probably the worst Switch I've ever touched, but I don't know if I even consider that a Switch. It's more like a chore.
I don't know if I don't really like Roamer G either. Huh. What do you got here? What's your top?
If you want to feel bad Switches, get into the vintage keyboard game. Is what I'm gonna say. A lot of bad switch pull switches, a lot of bad magnetic reed switches. A modern one would be the X-Mint Hall Effect switches. Those are trash, in my opinion. They've gotten better, but I haven't tried the new ones yet. But yeah, modern ones, TTC switches are pretty bad. Someone also mentioned that.
Those are pretty bad. Yeah.
Gap clears are bad, but it's only because of their weight. Like, there's nothing actually bad about it other than its weight.
Epic Gear makes a few switches, and they're all absolutely terrible.
Cherry MYs, Cherry MLs. Yeah.
Yeah, I got nothing. Old Kale switches, yeah. Zorro Browns, that's a pretty bad one. That actually might be my leading worst Switch, actually. Thank you for reminding me of that. I often forget that I have it, like, tucked away in my closet.
The deep, dark corner.
Yeah, when I decided to spend $30 on a mechanical keyboard from Amazon, and I was like, how bad could a $30 keyboard be? Turns out, Zorro Browns, you can hear how scratchy they are from, like, the next apartment over. All right. Yeah,
those are some pretty good questions. I'll start wrapping things up, I guess.
Of course.
As we are out of questions. Ryan, thank you so much for joining us today. Yeah, it's been definitely really interesting, especially having a guest who's not as we usually have, a vendor or designer. Is definitely getting a great outlook from someone who is another fellow content creator in the community. That's been really cool. Everyone who's subbed today, thank you so much. I noticed there's a lot of new subs. If you haven't yet, feel free to join our Discord link down below. And if you link your Discord with Twitch on Discord, your name will become purple. That's a cool thing people asked for, and it's a thing now.
And you'll get a little special badge, special little channel. It's fun.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you everyone so much for watching. Tomorrow we have some exciting things. Tomorrow I'll be doing a live stream where I'm trying to do GMK Magic. That's gonna be really exciting because my previous attempts with QMK have been poor, to say it positively. And then after that, of course, at every Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific, we'll be doing the Castle build stream with Overkill of Input Club, who is their mechanical engineer. We are in the final hurdles almost of the CNC'd version, and after we finish this one, we'll be working on a injection molded version, which is most likely going to be the production model when it goes into effect. Expect some awesome things from Brian and I coming up, including, but not limited to, the Stab Lab, Switch Lube guides, Box Royal reviews coming out real soon. I know you guys have been asking a lot about that.
Yeah, people are crazy about that, man.
Yeah. Ryan, thank you once again. Everyone, check out Ryan's writing. He writes for Tested and a few other websites. Check out his website. Just check him out.
Yeah, come and see the things that I do.
What's your website called?
So it's just ryanwhitwam.com, but my name is hard to spell. So yeah, just go to bit.ly/rwcontact, and that will take you to the contact page on my site. And you can, you just like go to my Twitter, and I link to all kinds of stuff that I write. So anybody who wants to do stuff, plan a meetup, hint hint, or if you are doing a project you want me to cover, then definitely reach out.
Cool, very cool. Huey, take us out with that kernel sticker one more time, because Zoology is asking for it.
Oh my god, okay.
So
let me cover up this address. I got this in the mail today. This is the kernel is just absolutely ripped.
Pretty gosh darn great.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys can catch another wonderful episode of Top Clack every Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific. Next week, do we have a guest next week? I think we do.
We do, but we're not telling people who the guests are anymore.
Yeah, right.
No more hype building. It's always a surprise from here on out.
So we hope to see you next week and see our guests next week as well. Until then, everyone, have a wonderful evening and thank you for watching. Peace.